right? Yeah, but it seems as if it's more like if I say I am a Democrat and I'm a Christian, it'd be like that is impossible. I've heard somebody say that.
I've heard people say that too, which brings me to like a very kind of like it's just the question that you kind of have to ask yourself as a Christian when you kind of go into the sphere politically with other Christians, and that is how do you go about conversing with other Christians or conversating with other Christians who disagree with your, I guess, political beliefs?
I think you have all conversations, and I think I would put forth the trust that the Christian that I'm speaking with will be charitable.
Right.
And as I seek to be charitable, right? To hear the viewpoint at least, right? And I think that I would treat everyone that way, but the fact that you're a brother, I think that when a conversation gets to the point where we are acting uncharitably, that's unlike us. It is not who we are. The Bible says that we're supposed to love one another, right? And they don't say we need to agree with one another, but there's a way that you could disagree with someone you love.
And I have to counter argue right now, or right at that point, because some people will bring up Ephesians where it talks about the unity and how Christ broke down the dividing wall. So some people, even in that, will argue not even argue, will raise the objection like, hey, like Christ broke down the dividing wall between everything so that we can be unified. And so there has to be unity.
Yeah, and so Paul and Barnabas split and went their separate ways off of disagreement to maintain unity in the faith. Like it's a spirit of unity.
And Peter and Paul, and Paul had to rebuke Peter because of he was being...
Absolutely. Or the fact that, okay, let's bring into like practical theology and the kind of things that we practice in our church and in churches.
Make sure I get the references on the joint too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the... Like when, we have like church meetings and we vote on things and some people say yes and some people say no on something that has been brought up, and then yet the yays have it, and those who disagree with it, have to kind of live with in unity, in love, with the fact that like, okay, you don't need a church, but you just sort of like practicing biblical, like I think it's a practical theology to kind of like walk in unity with what passed here. And to work it out. And look, we're human, man. Like we gonna disagree, and we still are called to love one another, right? That's just like, I think it's basic. So when someone who is a Christian has disagreed with what I just said, fine.
I don't think you should be with that political party.
That's not my problem. That's it. Like the fact that you say that is not my problem.
Yeah.
And I'm not offended that you believe that. And if it's something that you feel that deeply and that's making you mad and that's making you question my Christianity, I think you probably need to revisit.
Might need to examine yourself.
Take the plank out your eye. Because it's not worth it. It's a worldly institution, and the churches happen to be mellowing itself in it, right? And to the point where it's starting to cause divisions within, we might want to consider coming out. Because like again, there's stuff going on both sides that we should not be aligning ourselves with. Period. And I think that I think that the way I've see it that the evangelical church are aligning themselves too quickly around certain issues or around certain candidates that just don't represent Christian values at all, and then like even more so than not aligning themselves with a Barack Obama or
Trump or whoever,
or Donald Trump, right? But there was more Christians rallying around Donald Trump than there was a Barack Obama. Why? And I just, if morality, or it wasn't necessarily a morality issue between the men that made them rally around Donald Trump over Barack Obama. I just think that it's these major tenets of the faith that of the Christian faith that shares a platform with things that are unloving toward people when on a Republican side. I think that the Republican Party pretends to love God or to say things that promotes a love for God, than the love for people. And the Democratic Party tend to promote things that highlight its love for people and their hate for God. And so I don't care about the false when it comes to like the ethos of the left, of the Democrats. Is that I don't care about this false love for people because it's absent of a love of God, right? Their policies, their social policies. And from the right, don't act as if, or come and say that you love God so much that you have to hate your neighbor.
Wow.
And as a Christian, the Democrats, neither the Democrats nor the Republicans represent my values. And I believe that any Christian should really see that they don't represent their values fully. That's what I believe. And so it's interesting to kind of look at it sociologically and kind of look at the phenomena that are occurring. But as a Christian, I feel like what I really believe, what we really believe as Christians, is being pushed more and more and more into the margins in society. And that is being helped by both sides, both political parties.
I think you said it best, man. It'd be interesting to kind of think about why and how. But I like the conversation we've had so far, so I want to cut it off there because we could talk all night. Yeah. Any final remarks for Swag?
Yeah. So again, like, I enjoyed this conversation. I like to kind of have some musings over these things. Like, some things I think about and will bring up in conversations when they're personal, and I kind of have the space, psychological safety, in a sense that, we won't be in our fields when we talk about these hot topics, right? Yeah. I do recognize I probably said some things that are not going to be over well with a lot of folks, and that's fine. Yeah. And I'm open to learn more about, because it's just so much I don't know. I don't know what goes on for real. On Capitol Hill and what goes on. I don't know the intentions of others. I do kind of feel that I don't want our faith to be locked in step with these ideas that are not really representative of who we are as Christians. That's my biggest thing and biggest fear.
I like it, man. Well, all right, Jelani Still.
Yeah.
This has been Conversations with Everyday Christians, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I appreciate
sir.
it. Appreciate you having me.